And then we're going to lead up to what we have to do and address. The largest spending items, the reason we're in trouble is because over 74% of federal spending is on autopilot, mandatory spending. That's your entitlement programs like Medicare, Medicaid, and then things like Social Security. They have to be adjusted and fixed. We have a plan to do that next year, and it's critical because we're at $40 trillion plus.
Mike Johnson did not whisper this behind closed doors. He said it on radio out loud. Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security are on autopilot, he said. They have to be adjusted and fixed, he said. And then he tied it to America being $40 trillion plus in debt. So before anyone runs out with the cleanup statement, before the press team says that is not what he meant, and before Washington hides behind the words fraud, waste, and abuse, let's deal with the part seniors actually heard. The Speaker of the House just said Social Security has to be adjusted next year. That means every senior watching this should be asking one question right now. Adjusted how? Okay, look, when a politician says your check needs to be adjusted, that is not just political language. That is your grocery money, electric bill, and the prescription refill. That is the rent, the mortgage, the property tax, and the insurance payment that does not get cheaper because Congress suddenly discovered the debt after passing tax breaks for the wealthy. Johnson did not say, we are going to protect every Social Security check. He did not say, we're going to raise the payroll tax cap so millionaires pay more like workers. He did not say, we are going to stop the 22% cut without touching seniors. He said these programs have to be adjusted and fixed, and the plan starts next year. For me, that's a problem. Not the word entitlement, not the media spin, not the fake outrage cycle where everyone argues over grammar while the real issue slips by. The problem is that 70 million Americans depend on Social Security. The trust fund is being drained, and if Congress does nothing, benefits could face a cut of around 22%. So when the most powerful Republican in the House says Social Security is part of what needs to be adjusted, seniors do not need to be polite. They need to demand specifics. Are you cutting benefits? Are you raising the retirement age? Are you privatizing it through the back door? Or are you finally going to make high earners pay into Social Security more like regular workers already do? Now watch the cleanup. After people heard what he said, the explanation became that this is really about fraud. That is the magic word in Washington now. Fraud, waste, abuse. Those three words are supposed to make everyone stop asking questions. But if Mike Johnson and House Republicans have found some massive Social Security fraud operation, then why are they waiting until next year? Why not show the plan today? Why not tell seniors how much fraud they found, where they found it, who found it, and how that money protects the monthly check? If this is really about fraud, there should be receipts, not vibes, not slogans, not a backtrack after the audio gets attention. And that is where the mirror needs to go right back in their face. They already used this same language around Medicaid. Fraud, waste, and abuse became the cover story. And then real people started facing cuts, paperwork traps, eligibility reviews, and the risk of getting kicked off even when they qualify. So seniors should not sit back and assume Social Security is safe just because a politician says the word fraud. The question is not whether fraud exists. Of course, fraud exists in large systems. The question is whether fraud is being used as the excuse to open the door to benefit cuts, privatization, a higher retirement age, or some new adjustment that lands on seniors instead of the people at the top. Because here is the real math they do not want on the screen. The transcript points to about $2.5 trillion in Social Security reserves, about $1.1 trillion coming in from payroll contributions, and about $1.4 trillion going out in total costs. The gap is being filled by the trust fund. And when that trust fund runs down, the warning is a benefit cut around 22%. That is not theory. That is the threat sitting underneath this entire conversation. A senior getting $1,800 a month could be looking at almost $400 gone. A senior getting $2,500 could be looking at around $550 gone. That is not an adjustment. That is a financial ambush. So when Johnson connects Social Security to the national debt, seniors should push back hard. Social Security is not just some random pile of Washington spending. Workers paid into it. Every paycheck, FICA, came out before people could even touch their money. A person making $50,000 pays Social Security tax on every dollar they earn. But once wages climb above the payroll tax cap, the wealthy do not pay into Social Security the same way on every additional dollar. That is the real issue hiding behind the noise. Regular workers carry the system all year, while the people making far more are protected by a cap Congress refuses to seriously confront. That is why adjusted how has to become the question every senior asks. If the plan is to cut benefits, say it. If the plan is to raise the retirement age, say it. If the plan is privatization, say it. If the plan is only fraud, show the fraud and explain why it takes until next year. And if the plan is to protect Social Security, then say clearly that checks will not be cut, the retirement age will not be raised, and earned benefits will not be handed to Wall Street through the back door. Millions of people are feeling this right now. They are already squeezed by groceries, rent, insurance, medicine, utilities, and property taxes. They do not need another political word game. They need answers. So call your representative and ask the question exactly this way. When Mike Johnson says Social Security must be adjusted and fixed next year, do you support cutting benefits, raising the retirement age, privatizing the program, or lifting the payroll tax cap so high earners pay more like workers? Do not let them escape into slogans. Make them answer the mirror. Because Mike Johnson said it out loud, and seniors have every reason to demand what comes next.